Japan, I'm coming back to you. There in old Japan, you'll make my dreams come.
And welcome back to the Nihon no Madoguchi podcast with your host Domo and
Marty, how is it going, guys? Everything all right? So, Domo. Long time no see, huh? Not really.
well, not really, but hey, long time no see.
Mm.
I know in the last episode we were talking about Valentine's and how that
Yeah.
what that looks like here in Japan, and I guess the difference they have Valentine's Day and White Day, uh, they want to get the yinnies. There's no need for a White Day. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it's the
I heard
Japanese
something.
companies.
Actually, we did a search with my wife during
Hmm.
Valentine's. So we discovered why a White Day exists. So actually, why the reason why Valentine's it's not the
Hmm.
man giving gifts to the women, but the
Yeah,
other way
yeah.
around. Actually, there is some historic reason.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, do you care to share?
Why not? Why not? Thanks for the ask.
Yeah, sure. I I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've read something like I also was curious at some point
Yeah.
and looked it up, but I don't remember exactly if there was a historical reason or some type of significant reason for why White Day exists. But
Well,
please share your knowledge.
significance, I wouldn't classify that as significant, but there is some reasons. So you
Yeah.
know how that, so basically Valentine's, even in the West, is related, it's quite recent, it's quite a modern thing. It's related to, how do you want to put it, a commercial way of making the commerce go around,
Mhm.
making business do some profits by gifting chocolates. I mean, there is also a pseudo religion's reason. Valentine's
Mm.
comes from a guy called Mr. Valentine, which was a
Saint
Roman
Valentine,
soldier.
yeah.
Yeah, Saint Valentine. That is where the Valentine portion comes from, Valentine's Day. Yeah, if we remember correctly, it was something related with the Roman period. So when there was still the empire, and it was something related to a leave that soldiers were given to meet their lovers, or something related to that.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so Valentine did some shenanigans regarding his lover and stuff like that. That one you can look it up
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Wikipedia pretty easily. So I won't open Wikipedia in front of you. But let's say that during after the war, so in the 50s and 60s, the modern way of celebrate Valentine's was adopted or was became a tradition in the West, where men usually gave gifts to the women, right?
Yeah.
However, when it was a Japanese chocolate company, or many Japanese chocolate companies decided to try to make Valentine Day happen in Japan as well, because it means a lot of chocolate that you sell, not only chocolate cakes or stuff. I mean, not chocolate candies and stuff, but also people buy chocolate to make cakes and stuff.
Mm.
But in the 50s and in the 60s, it was not really a Japanese thing for men to gift something to the women, right?
Yeah.
There was still some kind of heritage from like the traditionalist and more conservatorist worldview, where it was not very manly or a common thing for men to give stuff to the women.
Sure.
Therefore, the companies tried to put it, to frame it in a different way, so that it is the women. It was more natural for
Mm.
women at the time. Not yet. We are not endorsing anything, but at the time, it was more normal for women to give something to the men.
Mm.
Therefore, they made it Valentine's, as if it became a tradition that women have to give stuff to the men, right? And that is why in Japan, women have to give chocolate to the men. I mean, have to. It's not a have to, but it's how things go.
No, yeah, it was quite um interesting when I first came to Japan to hear and to find out that it was the women who give
Yeah.
chocolates to the men on Valentine's Day, and the fact that they also have a white day where men then reciprocate. Um, I would like I would say the norm in the States would be, the man giving women
Yeah.
chocolate, giving them something, to confess their feelings. I wouldn't say it's unheard of that a woman gave someone like a
Oh,
man
really?
chocolates or something like that. It's not. I mean, it's standard for the man to do it, but
Yeah.
if not all men are romantic. They might not want to make chocolate or express their feelings in that way. And if the woman knows that, I could see them being like, I'll give you chocolates. You're not. See, I know you're not gonna confess to me. So some women, especially in the States, they'll shoot their shot, as we
Oh,
like to
really?
say it. Um,
Oh,
there's not. I won't say there's a lot, but I would say it's a non-zero number, a
I see. I
non-zero
see.
number of women. Yeah, definitely more common for men giving chocolates. Uh, I thought about giving some chocolates,
Some
but
ladies.
to some ladies, but I was scared of rejection. I
Uh,
give her the chocolate, she'd be like, ew, or something like that. Oh no, that would hurt. Um, but this might be the same in other, countries that also celebrate Valentine's Day. Like in
I.
schools, the
It's the
teacher will
case.
bring in,
Really? In the
yeah, they'll,
US, the
they'll bring
teacher
in,
brings
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
and
Oh,
give so that no one feels left out.
I see.
Everyone gets some chocolate. It's all fun and dandy. There's only one day, in the United States. It's obviously it's a day of love and things like that.
Right.
You write like there's like little cards. You write, "Will you be my Valentine?" And it's cutesy and whatever. But typically in the school setting, the teacher will provide some candies as well. Some
Nice.
common candies. It doesn't
Mm.
always have to be chocolate either. Uh, I'm not sure how it works in Italy or France.
I don't
Uh,
remember. Actually, I don't remember. For sure, in high school, we didn't receive anything from our teachers because we are already in an age which could be weird. But
yeah.
I don't remember in my personal experience receiving anything for Valentine's Day from the teachers,
Mm.
which also make me think that in Italy too, in France as well, I believe, it's quite limited the people you give chocolate to. In sense, it's rather a man that is giving chocolate to his interest and only to
Mm.
one person,
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
in Japan is actually a little bit different because especially when you are in the school environment or like the bukatsu, the club activities, usually you bring chocolate for everyone. So
Mm.
it's not only like you're declaring your feeling with your chocolate, but you have also like a more social kind of chocolate that you were yes, you can find it in some mangas as well, where the
Yeah.
main character love comedies and stuff, the main character will give chocolate to everyone, and then for his own personal interest he will give a better chocolate.
Mm.
But yes, I remember when I was with the host family as well, the daughters used to prepare chocolate or prepare things to give to the male
Yeah.
members of their social circles, whether it was in
Mm.
or it was in the activities. So yes, they're quite smart. Japanese people and marketing are very, very smart, very, very sneaky. They force a lot of young girl to buy a lot of presents and chocolate for distribution
Mm.
because it is socially I would do I don't want to say it is socially reprimanded or socially expected, but we are close to that.
No, yeah, I get it. It's probably not as serious in the States.
All right.
Again, it's just kind of because like the concept of like the giri choco, right? The
Mhm.
obligatory chocolate that you give to your
Yes.
peers, uh, not really a thing. I don't. I wouldn't say, especially in the States. Again, the teacher would do that. They don't have to, because it's not like all the teachers do it. Some teachers would be
Right.
like, "Hey, I got some chocolate for you guys. It's Valentine's Day," or yada yada. It's just, if they want to, they will. If they don't want to, they don't. They won't.
Right.
Uh, but aside from that, like you don't give chocolate to your friends, because they also have tomo choco in Japanese, right? It's
Mhm.
the friend chocolate. Just different from the obligatory chocolate. You give those to your
Right.
acquaintances, and even if they're not your friends, they're in your circle, in your classroom. Hey, chocolate
Mhm.
for everyone. You got the tomo choco to give to your friends. Might be slightly better than the obligatory chocolate choco, and then you have the, what is it called, the homemade choco, or like the midnight choco. I don't know I forgot what it's called.
The big
It's
one.
the love, the big one, the one you give to the one you like, the one you wanna
Mm.
confess your feelings to. Like this whole structure that they have within, the confines of Valentine's Day is quite intricate. And another, just, another like, ooh, naruhodo kind of things. And you just come and learn about, as you learn Japanese and learn more about the culture, just like,
Yeah.
karimashita. You just kind of keep it moving. All
Japanese
right,
have
yeah.
like they love to like categorize things and like create different subcategories and different structure and social obligation. It's crazy. Like I wonder if it is something that is rooted in culture for a long period of time, or if it is something that came up rather recently. That is a mystery yet to me. But yes,
Mm,
they really like uh, to sub compartment and stuff about anything. It's impressive, and they stuck to it. That is the impressive
mm.
thing, is that they
Yeah,
stuck to it.
yeah,
Like you have giri choco, that it is something. It's not like some people do it and some people don't. They're very serious and precise and meticulous about things.
it's true.
Something like this in Italy wouldn't exist. Probably won't, people wouldn't respect anything about that and forget and mix it up. So yeah, it's very interesting how they
Oh yeah.
structure things. So speaking about giving chocolate, were you able to give some chocolate this year, Domo?
Oh yes, of course. So at the time of this recording, Valentine's Day will have been about a week or two. Uh,
Yeah,
has passed, and I ultimately ended up getting some standard chocolates with you know, I forgot what they were called, but you can find them. I won't say you can find them anywhere, but because in Valentine's Day they have the marketing and things like that, you can find a lot of uh like Valentine related chocolates in the convenience
yeah.
stores. They have like a Valentine section. There'll just be different types of chocolates you can choose from. So I just kind of grabbed one off the shelf that I thought would be nice, along with this my girlfriend's favorite chocolate, which is the Chiroru. I'm not sure how to pronounce it in English. It's like a triol, like two.
Tyrol,
But
probably.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, Tyrol, yeah. I
because
don't think we have
it's
those
the
in.
region. It's a region in Austria, between Austria and Italy, actually.
There you go. I had no idea. Because she like, I didn't. So I asked her originally. This is some time ago. I was like, as Marty, you probably know, and I love hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
I will die for some hot Cheetos. Um, and I could eat hot Cheetos every day and never get tired of them. It's not a good thing.
Which
But
is impressive
I
because
enjoy
we
it.
Europeans, when we tried out Cheetos, we were a little bit
Yeah.
hesitant. It's like, how can you hype the thing so much? Then when we really tried it, and they were like, yeah, I guess it's not
It's
that
all right.
impressive.
It Don't listen to him, guys. It's banger. I promise. And I've actually had some Japanese people try it as well, and they
Mm.
like older Japanese people, and some coworkers and things, and they always say, "Oh, this would go great with beer. Like it's like a great
Uh,
mummy. It's kind
um,
of spicy." They say, I'm like, is it sour? I've never gotten a sour taste from it, but maybe for the Japanese palate, yeah. I don't know, but I digress. Right. So
yeah.
my favorite snack is hot Cheetos, and so I asked her, what is one snack that you've eaten all your life that you could eat every day and not get tired? What is her hot Cheetos, right? and that was in Chiroru, Choco the whatever you said, the Tyrol,
Tyrol. Tyrol,
Tyrol.
probably. In
Man,
Germany, it's Tirol, so I don't know in
um,
English to pick it up from there.
yeah, the Tyrol, and
Tirol.
so I got her one of those. Has like 30 of them in there. So that and that, along with a like a nice little card, nice little note, and I got her favorite flowers, the gabera, which is the
Cannot help you on that.
yeah. Like I never heard I looked when she told me what she said. Gabera was her favorite flower. You know, when we initially started dating. I was like,
Gabera.
I don't know what that is. I looked it up, and I was like, I've never heard this flower in English either. So I was like, it's like the Gerba, Garba. I don't
Give me
know,
1 second
but
to
yeah,
Gerbera. It's the Gerbera
Gerbera, the
or
Gerbera,
Gerbera, depending on
Gerbera,
where you're
right?
from.
I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced, but and maybe like some flower people will be like, "Oh, you're pronouncing it all wrong. It's this. How dare
We
you?"
apologize.
But sumimasen. But
I
you
would
know
call
that's her
this
favorite
I
flower,
would call this a daisy though, actually.
right?
It is a daisy to me. But no, it's a
Maybe it's in the
Gerbera or
maybe it's
Gerbera.
in the Daisy family. Who knows? Who knows? But
Probably. Who knows?
so I got a like a kind of a bouquet of those, and that was kind of thing. We didn't really do much on the day, because it was Thursday, I believe. So I just kind of like gave her the things, boop boop. We kind of spent the night together a little bit, you know, chatted, talked about some things, and then the following day, or I think it was either the following day or that Saturday, we ended up doing kind of like a double date thing with one of her with her friends.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, well, I'd say double date. It was more like I had asked my girlfriend, "Hey, you want to do some karaoke? I hadn't done karaoke in a while. It's been a couple weeks or something." And she's like, "Yeah." And that same night, we were planning on going to karaoke. Her friends asked, you know, if we wanted to go out with them. They were going out. They're like, "You guys want to go out with us?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" Because we ended up going to like a karaoke bar snack kind of thing. But it's not your traditional snack. It's not like, you know, there's a mama and, you know,
Right.
women come and sit with you. Uh, the guy, it was a guy running the place, and actually the guy who was running the place is their former classmate from when they were in middle school or something.
Ah, the
So
Papa.
it's a papa, very small town, you know, that they're living in, right? Um, so we did that. We probably sung until like drinking and singing until like 4 a.m. It's ridiculous.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Impressive.
yeah. I was like, you got in the 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 kicker was like I live in a different city than they live in, and I was not planning on staying the night at her house.
Right.
The kids were all there, and, you know, it's gonna be, you know,
Mhm.
whatever. So um, she said, so the plan was for me to originally come there by car, you know, not really drink. You just kind of sing, have some fun or whatever.
Right.
That would have been fine. That I'll drive myself back. She's like, no, no, no. I'll come pick you up, and then we'll come
Because
back.
she doesn't drink.
She doesn't
Uh,
drink.
yeah.
Yes. So my girlfriend doesn't drink. So I'll come pick you up, bring you back, and then take you back home later, and then come. I was like, you don't have to do 2 trips there and back. Like I felt bad, you know, but she's like, no, it's okay, because this is apparently something she's used to, right? She doesn't drink, so she's always kind of been the DD of all the groups where she goes out and drinks. Uh, so the original plan was probably drinking till like 1, maybe 2, and then she'd take me home and then she'd come back. We ended up drinking until 4, and so it would have been crazy to have her drive me all the way home and then she drive back. So she just drove me home and stayed the night
That's
until
lovely.
the next day, and then
Mm.
she proceeded to go home and do what needs to happen. But yeah, so that was kind of the, I guess, Valentine's Day / weekend um that we had. we just kind of chilled the next day. Didn't really do much. Watched some movies and whatnot. Yeah.
That's
How
good.
about you, Martin? Yeah, I remember.
I mean, yes, I
Yeah,
can cheat this question saying that I'm not in Japan, so technically it's not very relevant for this
sure.
podcast. But reverse card, my wife is Japanese, so I can still talk about this experience.
Yeah.
No, I will make it very quick. So actually, this Valentine's, I kind of got broke to do stuff because I made a big thing. We should have done it more. But short story is that I did way more than what it is expected for Valentine.
Of course.
So the idea was just to pick up a fancy chocolate and do a dinner. And then I remember that she likes one particular wine that is quite sweet. It's a white wine, very sweet. So I couldn't do a normal dinner because if I use this wine, it won't pair with anything. So I had to buy extra stuff to make the dinner on purpose. And then I went up ahead and bought a cake as well. So, and then flour. So,
Oh,
Moriagarimashita.
yeah. You did the whole shebang. I like it. I like it.
It was probably, it would have been cheaper to just go to a fancy dinner than just have it home, but it was fine nonetheless.
No, that's not like so. This is a fact. Well, probably well known on the channel now, but Marty likes to cook, and I
Oh,
don't.
yeah, I do.
And maybe not even. It's not even like in my case. It's not like or don't like. It's just I lack the skills to be proficient at cooking
Right.
a variety of meals. I can cook certain things. I have like my certain
Limited.
meals that I can cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but um someone's like, hey, cook this thing. I would I would feel especially if it's something that has like a bunch of ingredients that I don't already have in my house. I have to go
Right.
and buy like new seasonings and new
Yeah.
this and new that. It's very overwhelming. Um, I do like to think of it kind of like a science, or there's a recipe. You follow the recipe,
Yeah.
you can do make just about anything. But I just lack confidence in knowledge, right, and just experience overall. So the fact that you went out of your way to make a dinner, have Valentine's Day dinner for your wife is admirable, and
Thank
I
you.
commend you
Thank you,
for
sir.
it. I wish one day I shall too be able to do
I
such
believe in
such a
you.
feat.
I believe in you. But actually, one of the reasons why I make it so big is that although we are having plenty of fun and it's not this difficult to live in France for us, it's still you feel like you're out of your country, especially for her. Like the
Mm,
environment she's used to. She came live to France twice for 1 year each every time. So she's used to it's not like she has a really impressive culture shock. But at
yeah.
the same time, you compared to living in Japan, at least for us, it's not true for everyone, but at least for us, it's more soothing living in Japan. It's easier.
Mm.
The moods, the everyday life is not as tiring as living in France. So every occasion is good to just cheer each other up a little bit, and then we can do it like making something special and just living another month happily.
And I think yeah, that's I think the how do I want to say this? You and her together kind of come together to try to make your life in France more bearable and things
Yeah,
like that. Keeping the relationship fresh and whatnot, right? Through doing things like Valentine's dinners is I think in the long run gonna help you guys stay together
yeah. I mean,
for a long time.
we try our best. But actually, that is something that I'm starting to feeling more this time because I've been living in Japan for 3 years in a row. So up to
Mm,
now, I never really lived a long period of time in Japan. The longest was 9 months when we were in Kyushu University with Domo.
yeah.
I never lived a longer period of time in Japan. So coming back to France, I mean, I know France, so it's that's also something that you have to add. So you don't have this uh, novelty to it. I know this country as well,
Mm,
but at the same time, I don't know about the other countries. But I feel like compared to France, living in Japan is more. It's quieter. It's more. It's difficult to put it into words, but it's more peaceful. Although I haven't lived in all the cities in Japan, so probably there are cities where it's not very peaceful to live. That's
sure.
Benkyo busoku, you may say. But like the overall attitude of the people you meet in the streets and the overall moods of whether if you are in a big city, people simply ignore you, which is not bad neither. But if you live in the countryside, then people are friendly, or they are more seeking each other and like greeting each other and stuff.
Yeah.
And overall, I feel like in Japan there is more this mood of living well together, or at least not bothering each other to the
Yeah.
extent of I don't go out of my way just to be bad to you, or just to badmouth you, or just to be sharing my frustration with you. Whether
Yeah.
here in France, like it's gratuitous, like the way they share their frustration with each other, it's so tiring. It's like sometimes you're like, okay, you want to complain, but the fact that you are complaining right now, does it solve the problem? No, then you don't have to complain. Please don't complain.
True. True. Yeah. The idea of like telling someone about your problems in Japan is considered it's considered troublesome. Bothering
Yeah,
people. It's the waku, right? So they tend to keep a lot of things to themselves. No, no, I can get that, and I mean
it's also bad
you
for
could
them because they pile up on stress as well. That I understand,
true.
but it's like the context as well of, for example, you step into a shop and the staff in France, I speak, the staff is complaining about their working condition and stuff. I share your problems and everything. I also am rather of a lefty kind of upbringing, so I share your troubles, but at the same time, I'm the customer here, so
Yeah.
I don't need to feel your or at least to hear your the fact that you're not happy, and that's something that doesn't happen in Japan as well as much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people don't go out of their way to share uh, their bad feelings. That they should a little bit more because they,
Yeah.
they pile up everything, but at the same time, that is what makes, at least for me, living in Japan more peaceful. Like it's more quieter. People don't express negative feeling as much as they do in Europe. I don't know if it is the same for you, Domo, but about the US, I feel like the US is even more open country where it's
Yeah.
like everything goes or stuff like this. But you can shine a
Yeah.
light on.
It's you can find all types of people in the
Right.
United States. This might be kind of anywhere you go. There are a lot of people who overshare. There are plenty of people who undershare, don't share
Right.
enough, keep it
Mhm.
all on the inside, and you can see that typically with the undersharing a lot with men in
Mhm.
America. It might be a common thing across the globe, but in America, you being a man, means you need to be tough, you need to be
Ah,
hard. You,
right.
you can't share your emotions. You can't talk about these kind of things. If you're feeling any type of feelings, keep it. Go to the gym. you know,
Right.
if you're if you're
Be a
if
man,
you're
as they say.
if you're sad because your parents passed away, No, we don't
Mm,
talk about those emotions. We don't want to get closure, and that's how I was raised. That's how a lot of men my age and prior, my dad, his dad, and so on
right.
and so forth, right? That's how they were raised. That's all they knew. You had to be, the tough guy back then, be that backbone, for the family. Nowadays, I would say it's not as prevalent. The be a man, don't men never cry kind of mentality. There are a lot of
Mhm.
men who are starting to become more in tune with their emotions, more less hyper masculine and more just, I don't know if you have my just regular masculine. I don't know. And
Normal people.
normal people, yeah, just learning how to communicate their feelings to their partner, and things like that. Uh, but on the other hand, like men and like men sharing their feelings, um when it comes to like random people, obviously you don't really do that, but like if it's your boys, if it's your friends, sometimes you like you tend to open up with your friends and your boys. And I have plenty of friends who, I've heard plenty of complaining
Mm,
and them oversharing about this, that, and the other. And I tend to be a good listener. It's kind of weird saying that myself. I've been told that I'm a good listener. Uh,
I believe
and
so, yes.
so a lot of people like to just blah and talk and just hit me with the goodness or the badness,
Right.
whatever. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I see. And depending on the severity of what I'm hearing, whatever they're complaining about, I may or may not give advice,
Mm,
and things like that.
right.
You kind of play it by ear. But no, yeah, it really just depends. Just to answer your question, there are people who definitely overshare, always complaining about, you know,
That can be
oh,
tiresome.
woe is me, my life sucks, yeah. But like you said, if like complaining isn't gonna help you, help the situation, then why are you complaining about it, right? It.
Yeah.
I mean, I get talking to someone about it to kind of like get it off your chest, but like every problem, you don't have to talk. You don't have to like complain about everything, So
Mm,
yeah, it's
I see, I see.
it is
It's
like
funny.
it's
I
quite.
mean, we're going out a bit out of the topic, but it's funny. I'm thinking that now that I think about how we're
Valentine's
so
Day to masculinity. How did we get here?
I don't know. Even farther away is that I was thinking. I think I never really complain about something with you. That is weird because I have a tendency to complain about stuff being raised in France, but I think I almost never complain about stuff with you, which is impressive.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't.
I don't
Maybe,
remember.
maybe like back in JTW, I remember, maybe a handful, like especially stuff related to, and it may not
To
even
other
really been
people. Yeah.
super complaints to other people about people on the
Mm.
program, and uh, like when you were, I don't know if your wife watches this
Yeah,
podcast,
I
but
mean you can
yeah,
disclose stuff, yes.
it's like with your with Joe, the girl
The
you were
ex,
dating then,
yeah.
the ex, and like hanging out with her group of friends, like you. Cause I
Hmm.
remember there was quite a time in your relationship where it was just like you, the Italian
The white.
guy,
You
the
can say
white
the
guy,
white.
a bunch of like Chinese, Taiwanese,
Yes, yes.
people, and then
Mhm.
like kind of fitting in there. Obviously they're speaking Chinese a lot. You don't understand Chinese. You're just like,
Mm.
you know, So like, I mean, there was like things like that. But I never really yeah, I've never had that like image of you being like someone who's like, oh, this sucks and this is that and this is that.
Yeah.
Even you're like a very like chill kind of carefree guy. And you guys may may be able to tell, how chill and carefree he is from our previous episode about the JLPT and how he did not study.
Too much, too much. Nice transition, nice transition.
Yeah, no, but no, like I'm also the same. That's how
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why we get along. We can have
Yeah.
really good conversations and things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking about the JLPT, like, so actually we were planning to speak about Sakura and Hanami and cherry blossom and stuff, but looking at the clock, I think it's gonna be next time probably.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, look at that. It's yeah. This is what happens. And again, I'll probably mention this throughout many episodes of the podcast. But the fact that we can just have kind of natural flowing conversations like this
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why we wanted to start a podcast. We would there would be times when we just like we would go like months without speaking to one another and be like, hey, you
Oh,
want to
yes.
hop on a call? You need to catch up. And then we would just talk for 5 hours. And
I
I'm
remember
like,
our record. I mean, for disclosure, it was also during the COVID. I don't know about the US, but in France we had how do you call them in English? So basically, we couldn't leave our house for like 1 month or 2 months. It was like confinement, quarantine, yes, confinements and quarantines. So that is also a disclaimer that I didn't have any human touch for quite a long time. But I remember that one time we did 7 hours in a row.
Yeah. It was.
Can you imagine 7 hours of this podcast? The same exact thing we're talking about this podcast for 7 hours.
7 hours. I'm like, look at all this like this time we just spent chatting and it didn't feel it felt like like it just happened, like it was over, like over in the blink of an eye, like 7 hours, like golly. It's like, yeah, we and we kind of figured some people could probably benefit from this knowledge, that because Marty's very knowledgeable, as you guys will come.
Domo
You
is
may
very
already know.
No.
I'm knowledgeable about certain things, yeah.
Me too. I have my brain.
We have like things, yeah. And we hope to share that knowledge with you guys through our conversations. That's kind of the hope of this podcast.
Yes.
Sooner or later, we'll get into all that stuff that Marty has behind him. We'll all that.
As you can see, there has been some changes actually. So the poster probably it will be cut from the screen because it's quite on the left. I mean on the right of my position, but the Pokemon poster has migrated for the 3rd time over there, and here you cannot see them properly, but there are some stuffs at the wall. Actually, I have that is a nice transition because I have something here. I don't know if you see. This is I will bring back this next time. It is 100-year-old comics done by a French guy about how they used to enjoy the Hanami and the cherry blossom viewing in Japan. So
there you go. So literally,
it's a nice transition.
Nice transition. We're gonna have a Hanami episode, yeah.
Actually, if you give me 1 second, I have something just to tie up on last podcast. If you can give me 30 seconds, I will fetch it up quite soon. So you can also see my beautiful T-shirt.
Woo! Dragon Ball.
But this is the recent. This is the recent one with they did it for the Daima anime.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy the T-shirt as well.
Is that Uniqlo?
Yes, it is Uniqlo. Yes.
Of course it is. Of course. I need to get the Uniqlo merch, man. God damn.
I don't know if you can see properly.
Okay.
So this is a journal, a French journal from 1904.
Woo!
And this is also how they used to greet each other in Japan for the new year.
Okay.
So you have a lot of elements, and we will talk about this artist as well at some point.
Goodness gracious! Like this man. I love it. See, like
And
Marty, the knowledge, and just
no,
like
no, no, no.
the interest to want to
The
collect
interest.
those kind of
Yeah,
things is beyond me. It's beyond me. Yeah, no,
much.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes, but just as an intro, probably it won't be the topic of the next meeting, but sometime in the future I will talk about this guy. He's called Georges Bigot. It's a French illustrator that came to Japan at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. And he's considered one of the founder of manga, the modern manga. This is just a spoiler for future podcast, which won't be the next one, but the one following that probably we will see.
We shall see. And the next one will definitely be on Hanami and things like that.
Yes.
We can then talk about what is Hanami, what like literally what it translates to in English,
Yes.
some different customs, our experiences with Hanami, and we can then touch on that poster that article or journal that Marty just showed us. Yeah, and I think that would be a nice follow-up episode, as Hanami season will be quite soon after that should be uploaded, or maybe like almost right when it's uploaded.
Yeah,
probably.
Depending on
the schedule.
I will try my best to do the edits in time and then to publish everything by the time cherry blossoms are. I hope they will be already opening by the time we finish the podcast.
I will say, just kind of like a final note, like Hanami can be like it's typically attributed to cherry blossoms, but there are plenty of different kind of flowers that bloom throughout the year in Japan, and one flower that's blooming at the beginning of March, like probably sometime next week, following up into the following week, is the plum.
Yes.
We in here in Deshino, I may mention it in the next one. We have a what do you want to call it? A plum forest. It's not really a forest. They just call it a plum forest. It's just a bunch of plum trees.
Right.
And it's very nice, when they all bloom, and around this time. I know you follow my work Instagram. So you'll probably see some pictures on that here in a couple of weeks when they get blooming. But yeah, like again, we'll go into more depth in the next one. I'll talk about some different flowers and when you can expect to see them in Japan. Yeah.
Nice. I think it's a natural closure to. I mean, we had other topics we wanted to talk about, but that's how life goes. So yes, I think it was a nice closure for this episode. We can bid you good morning, good evening, and good night, and see you in the next episode then. Goodbye.
Bye.